Oh, hello. Welcome to Gourmet, the channel where I cook my way through all the cookbooks I own and have never used. We are still working. One second. I gotta get the cookbook ready. We are still working with the official Disney Parks Cookbook, where we'll be making two things today. We're going to be making a seasonal vegetable, let's read this, seasonal vegetable pot pie with Herbed Biscuit Topping, which this is what it looks like, but reading the recipe, I don't think that's what it looks like. And then we're going to make the gray stuff. That's right, you know we had to. It's in this cookbook. Um, I'm excited to try it. It's been so long since I've actually had it at the park, so I only vaguely remember it being like cookies and cream whipped cream. But we'll see how this one goes. Let's get started. Our pot pie, I'm calling it a pot pie soup. I think that's what it is. The biscuit topping feels like dumplings. So I think this is like a pot pie and dumpling thing. I don't know. It sounds interesting. The picture, I picked it because the picture looks good, not really realizing exactly what it was, but we're just going to get started with this. So we need to add in 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 3 tablespoons of flour into a saucepan and cook over medium heat. So we're making a roux, right? So here's 1 tablespoon, 3 tablespoons, and then let me get my olive oil, and we're just going to measure out. There we go. That's easy enough. So this is also a vegan recipe. I think that's going to be interesting. Once again, another thing I didn't really think about when I picked this recipe. But we're going to make this roux. It's just equal parts fat and flour. So our fat is the olive oil. And we are going to cook this over medium-high heat until the mixture begins to bubble. And then coat the bottom of the pan. So it says about like 5 minutes. Okay, so we've got our flour and oil in here. It's getting a little hot, so I turned off the heat. I don't want this to burn, but you can see it's getting like a nice brown color. It started to thicken. It's kind of coating the bottom of the pan. I think we're right where we want to be. It's right at 4 minutes. So I obviously cooked it on maybe a little bit of a higher heat. But we are going to go ahead and add in 2 cups of chicken stock. I'm just going to whisk this for a little bit, or not chicken stock. I'm going to set that back here. I don't want it to burn. We're going to add in 2 cups of vegetable stock. This is a vegan pot pie. So I've got my measuring cup out. There we go. Let's get that back on. I've got this out. Here's our cup. 2 cups. And we're going to go ahead and stir this all together. I'm going to turn the heat back on. I'm going to maybe do a little bit of a lower heat. But we want this to combine and kind of cook down until it's a gravy consistency. It says it's going to take about 10 to 12 minutes. So I've got this kind of just right on medium. And then we're going to bring it to a boil once I kind of whisk everything in. And then once it's at a boil, we're going to knock it back down and bring it to a simmer. So while this is doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and prepare our next couple ingredients just so we can get that ready. We are going to need 1.5 teaspoons of fresh dill, 1.5 teaspoons of sage, and a teaspoon of fresh thyme leaves. So I've got some thyme out here. I am just going to find... Oh boy. This isn't the prettiest thyme, is it? Oh well. When I went to the store, it was slim pickings. I'll say that much. It wasn't really very nice. But let's just... This is starting to thicken up pretty nicely, so I'm happy with that. It's definitely getting to kind of like a gravy consistency like we wanted. I've gone ahead and I've just picked off all of our thyme, sage, and dill. Now, you don't have to chop the thyme. I clearly thinks that the thyme leaves are fine how small they are, which I agree with. But we do need to chop the sage and the dill. So what I'm doing is I just figured I would just kind of put the thyme on there as well and chop everything together, because it's supposed to be all like finely chopped, which is my nightmare. I'm just going to call it here. I'm going to say that these are all finely chopped. We have a couple more minutes on our, I almost called it a gravy. It's not a gravy, but I guess it kind of is. I don't know what you would call this. The base for our vegan pot pie. So we'll let that keep going for probably like 4 minutes or so. And then we get to add in the herbs. I think we're pretty much done with this part. So we're pretty much gravy like. So I'm going to go ahead and add in our herbs. And then we're going to go ahead and stir in our herbs. And then this is really it for this part. We're going to go ahead and salt and pepper. Because I think that's important. And the cookbook finally, once in this cookbook says to season to taste at a decent step. So I'm excited to hear that. Honestly, that was it. That we did. That's probably the best I've seasoned something in a long time, just like willy-nilly. But that is good. We're gonna let this sit on a back burner for right now. That's what the book says to do. Now it's time to bring in the big guns. I've got my Le Creuset pan here. We need to add in a tablespoon of olive oil. There we go. I'm going to say close enough. And we're supposed to get this hot and then add our vegetables. I don't do it that way. I always add my vegetables when it's colder and then heat everything together, which I know changes stuff, but too bad. So we need... It also helps, honestly, it also helps while I'm filming these videos. But we need a medium onion, finely chopped. I know it says fine, but I think I'm going to go kind of chunky. I also know I'm cutting this onion wrong. I get that. I just wanted it to stay together a little bit more. That's our onion. We're going to call it there. Probably the worst chopped onion I've done in a very long time. But I have said in many previous videos, I prefer a chunkier soup, stew, whatever. So I'm going with that. We need 2 stalks of celery and 2 peeled carrots. So I kind of cheated on these. I bought the carrot sticks because I wanted those. And then I bought this kind of celery. So it's not exact, but it's just going to have to do. Oh, the celery didn't have the perforated line. Let's go ahead. 2 stalks of celery? That's kind of a lot of celery. I'm thinking ahead, not 2 stalks. Oops, I put the wrong thing. Okay, you know what? Celery's still kind of big. We're going to go with that. I'm calling this 2 stalks of celery. You can get everything. And just like the onion, it's supposed to be pretty small. So this is how we're going to cut it. We've got our celery in here. Now we're going to guesstimate what 2 carrots is. I just realized I read this wrong. They're supposed to be... The onion's finely chopped. The celery and the carrots are thickly chopped. Well, I'm doing this backwards. This is... Whoops. Okay. I am going to say... That's 2 carrots. I'm sure this is too many carrots, but... That is what it is. I might not have cut the celery very thick, but I certainly cut the carrots thick. Anything to give us heft. That's what I'm going for right now. I'm going for heft. And then we need 2 cloves of garlic finely chopped, which means, of course, we are just 2 cloves. We're going to go ahead and turn the burner on, and we're going to get these guys starting to go. Okay, so I've got the heat turned back down just because we want to get ready for some other things, and our onion's starting to get pretty translucent. I'm going to go ahead and finish opening up my other vegetables. But we need 1 zucchini diced pretty thick. So this is my zucchini. It's quartered lengthwise, which is normally how I cut my zucchini. So nothing new here for me, except I did that so poorly. I started out even and then, well, too bad. And then I'm going to go ahead And it says 1/2 inch pieces, so that's fairly thick, I think. I'm going to go ahead and add in our zucchini. We're going to do the same thing to yellow squash. I'm going to use the big one. I'd rather have more vegetable than less, you know? So now we need green beans. We need a cup of green beans. So I just got like bagged fresh green beans. Green beans aren't my favorite. I probably should have gone frozen, but I thought I could do something interesting possibly with these, and possibly not. I don't know. But I just need a cup. So I might go a little heavy. We need to cut off the tops and cut off the bottoms. So I'm going to just kind of get these as much in a even-ish stack as I can. And both ends are going to be chopped off. So, okay, there's one end. Okay, honestly, I think that's about a cup of green beans. I just put them in the measuring cup, and I think when these get cut, I'm going to be pretty happy with the amount of green beans. Like, that was pretty spot on. Okay, there's that. I think I'm just going to cut most of these in half, some of these in third. This is smelling good. I think all the vegetables are going to be nice in here, so no complaints from my end of things. We're going to cook everything for about 3 to 5 minutes until all of our new vegetables are also soft. So it's been pretty close to 5 minutes. Everything's beginning to soften. I did go ahead, the recipe doesn't say to do this, but I did go ahead and salt and pepper our vegetables because I think in the end we're going to appreciate it. So now it's time to kind of finish this, really. We need 2 cups of cooked navy beans and a cup of peas. So I've got some frozen peas here that I'm just going to cut open. Okay, I'm going to say that this is a cup. It's definitely more than a cup, but I love peas, so sue me. And then we need 2 cups of cooked navy beans. The recipe says they can be canned, so I bought canned. It doesn't say to drain them, but I think that's the move here. I didn't drain them all the way, but I drained them a little, and I'm just going to I have no idea how much is in a can. I'm just adding a can. That's that. I have 2 cans here, but I don't want to use them. I'm going to go ahead, turn off the heat, and I'm going to stir everything around. I also think the frozen peas are going to be nice because it'll give us a little bit extra liquid, which I think we might want. Vegetable gravy, so let's do that. I didn't stir it enough, so it got filmy. See, I think this is a nice consistency, so I wonder what it's going to cook up to be like. I'm a little curious. But we've got this all around. Everything's looking nice and pretty well coated. Like I said, this recipe kind of gets weird in my opinion. We need to transfer this into here. It says to let cool slightly. I think it's cooled enough. And I'm just going to start dumping. See, this is not a pot pie. I'm just going to get this in one even layer. And we're going to set this in the back, and I'm going to set up to make the biscuit topping. Okay, so it's time to make our biscuit topping. I've already measured out our flour here. We've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour in a bowl. We need 2.5 teaspoons of coarse salt. So somewhere I have a teaspoon. I'm actually measuring this time, so everybody should be proud of me. We'll see how long this lasts, but I think it is going to be helpful. I'm going to call that one there. I'm just using the nice like Maldon sea salt. And then we need a tablespoon of baking powder, which I should figure out how many teaspoons. 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. Okay, perfect. Because that's what I want to know. I don't want to get out another thing. There's our tablespoon. Oh boy. Our tablespoon of baking powder. And we need some freshly ground pepper. It says a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to go probably a little harder than that. And then we need some chopped herbs. We need basil, thyme, and rosemary all chopped, and 2 tablespoons of each. I don't know if I'm going to do finely chopped basil because I'm not. I couldn't even be bothered to finish that sentence. That's how little I wanted to do this. Okay. there's our basil. Let's get out some rosemary. We need some chopped rosemary. Okay, there's our rosemary. So it's finely chopped as that's gonna get. That was a really bad idea. I don't know why I thought that would work. It definitely did not. I've just made everything kind of worse. Okay. And last but not least, we need 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme. Luckily, it does not say to chop these, so I'm not going to. We need to go ahead and add in all of our liquid to this. So we need 3/4 cup of rice milk. I'm not using rice milk. I'm using almond milk because I owned it already. So, nothing, really no other reason besides that. But let's get in a 1/3 cup of this. And we need a 1/4 cup of canola oil. So I've got some canola oil right here. And let's measure out a 1/4 cup. And lastly, we need a 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So let us get in this olive oil. And now I'm going to just take a fork and I'm going to mix it until everything comes together. So this is kind of what I was saying. We're making like biscuits, sure. But what we're really doing is this is going to end up kind of being like a dumpling on top of our pot pie filling. And now it's just to drop large spoonfuls on top of the vegetable mixture. I'm going to kind of do flat circles, I think. We'll see how far we get. And now this is going to go in the oven at 350 for 45 minutes to about an hour until these are golden brown. So we are almost finished with our pot pie. We're so close. We're going to make a tomato pistou. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to take a break and look it up before we try this. But our pot pie is almost finished, so I'm going to get this going. We need a 1/4 cup of sun-dried tomatoes and oil. So I'm using this. I'm going to guesstimate. I'm going to pour some of the oil in and then just kind of go in with my fingers and pick out some sun-dried tomatoes. I think that's going to be kind of like a 1/4 cup. Of course, now I've got oil all over the place. So we need to add in a clove of garlic peeled. So let me go ahead. I actually do have a clove of garlic. I just kind of forgot that I need a knife for this step. Clove of garlic. And then we need a tablespoon of finely chopped basil leaves. I'm not doing that. They're going to get blended up in here. So I'm just going to go in and add the rest of our basil from our earlier. There we go. That'll be close enough for me. And then we need a teaspoon of sugar. So let's just go ahead and guesstimate what that's going to look like. We need a 1/4 teaspoon of coarse salt. So I'm going to use the Maldon again. And that might be a little too much. I don't know. I might have just messed that up. Whoops-a-daisy. We're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly cracked pepper. And that's everything we need right now. We're going to go ahead and put on our blending thing. And then we're just going to get this blended. So this is kind of where we are looking. It says it's not going to be smooth. It's going to be coarse, which I think we're right there, really. Let's go ahead and add in our vinegar and oil. So we need 2 teaspoons of balsamic vinegar and a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So I'm going to go with my balsamic vinegar first. And then I'm going to get out some olive oil. There we go. That's looking nice. And let's close this back up. And we're just going to kind of give this like a shake. And we're going to blend again. Okay, let's open it up. See what it looks like. Okay, I don't think that looks bad. Let's give this a taste. Oh, that's great. That's actually really good. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning up. And we get to take the pot pie out of the oven now. Okay, it's time to try it. Pardon the red face. As always, it's so hot in the kitchen. But here's what our bowl looks like. She looks beautiful, minus the part where the spoon went in. That's our pistou on top. I looked it up. A pistou is just like a French pesto. There we go. Oh my god. It's like a French pesto without the pine nuts. So that's kind of what we did. We just made it with sun-dried tomatoes. I'm excited, and confused about this. I'm going to just go ahead. It's very hot, so I don't know how much of the reaction is going to stay in the video of me trying this, but I am excited. Everything smells so good. Uh, I just, I don't, I don't really understand how they've considered this a pot pie. It's not. It's like a pot pie casserole, in my opinion. I think that's much more what it is. Anyways, here we go. Now here's a real bite. We've got some of the pistou. We have some of the biscuit. I mean, I have high hopes. The vegetables themselves are super flavorful and really good. So I'm ready to try this. That is wonderful. Uh, I really have nothing bad to say about this one. That is so it is so good. Wow, I didn't think I'd like it that much. I can't say that I'm normally a fan of like vegetarian vegan all the time. I think sometimes you can tell that it really misses a depth of flavor if it's not done well. This is done so well. That bite was just oh, you know that like this is gonna sound really this can give you an insight into my brain. But you know that scene in Ratatouille where Remy takes the cheese and is like gotten struck by lightning and he takes like mushroom with it and the like colors and all that is what that just did. That was so good. I didn't think that I'd like it this much. I really didn't. I thought that it was kind of going to be a flop. Um, I thought it'd be okay. Let's put it that way. I thought it'd be okay. I can't wait. I'm so excited I have more of this. I'm curious how it's going to save. I think I might try to freeze some of it because obviously it makes a lot, right? But wow. Well, let's get into this one. Vegetables, so easy to find. The rest of the ingredients, easy to find. I had no problems. I had a lot of it at home. I just had to buy a lot of vegetables. Um, is it the cheapest thing? Not necessarily, because like if you're buying this from scratch, it is kind of a lot that goes into it, but it's not like expensive ingredients, right? Um, it was easy to make. I had no issues with it. Uh, I have to say, I think this is a 10. I'm going to give it a 10. That might be like a little controversial, but I loved it that much. And I'm just going to devour this bowl and try not to give myself another bowl, even though I really want one. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.